This next story should have everybody furious, regardless of your political affiliation. There's a woman in Minnesota named Angela Brown, and her 15-year-old son, Trey, suffered a traumatic brain injury at a baseball game 3 years ago. So the symptoms of this injury are really horrific. They include uncontrollable muscle spasms, seizures, suicidal thoughts. In fact, he tries to commit suicide fairly often. According to the mother, whenever she leaves the room, even to go to the bathroom or something, she's afraid that he's going to act and try to commit suicide. And just a general feeling that, quote, "It just hurts in my brain everywhere. I really can't explain the pain." So whatever the injury is, something fucked up. Something malfunctioned in his body that leads to this insane chronic pain. Well, doctors tried everything to stop the pain, and nothing worked. Until a doctor prescribed a specific strain of cannabis oil. Now, there's been quite a few stories in the past of, I remember one that was a young girl who lived in New Jersey, and the family literally moved to Colorado to continue to get medical marijuana for their daughter because Chris Christie would not extend medical marijuana to children if they need it. So there are plenty of examples of certain forms of marijuana oil, strains of it, that really do a good job with chronic seizures that some people have. So that's what we're dealing with here. Quote, "Within an hour of him taking it, we could tell a difference. It worked. The pain went away." So what happens next is a story that's straight out of the 7th century or Taliban-controlled territory. Quote, "When he returned to school, teachers and administrators wondered about his seemingly miraculous recovery. When Trey informed them, however, they were less than pleased." So what happened? They called the cops on his mom. Because they found a medicine that works. But, oh, no, that medicine, that specific medicine, it's a medicine that some people sometimes take recreationally, so it must be bad. Quote, "Police seized the oil and charged her with child endangerment and causing a child to need protection." No, this is like a comically stupid response. So what happened? Unsurprisingly, Trey's symptoms immediately came back, and now she's on trial for her crimes. Now, they're doing a legal fund for this. I want everybody to donate. Okay, they're doing a legal fund to try to raise money to help her not go bankrupt while she defends common sense, okay? And I want everybody who's listening to the show right now, if you can donate $1, if you donate $5, whatever, get it done. This is the United States of America. We're dealing with a policy here that honestly looks like some clerics or mullahs, some people in Saudi Arabia or Iran came up with it. We do not like drugs, so ban it. What are we going to do? And I'm serious about this. I've mentioned this before on air. Some people think I'm joking when I say it. I'm not joking. What are we going to do when conservatives realize that after you get in a car accident and your femur snaps in two and you go to the hospital, that the morphine that they give you, you know what that basically is? Heroin. What are we going to do when these guys realize that morphine is heroin? What are we going to do when they realize that the painkillers you get after your wisdom teeth are pulled out, that they're giving you Vicodin or Percocet or OxyContin or oxycodone? We're dealing with opiates and opioids that react in the body the exact same way that heroin does. We're dealing with the same receptors here. What are we going to do? Because you know what if they're being consistent, if they're being objective, what are they going to say? Oh, drugs are bad. Drugs are bad. Heroin is addictive. We can't have this. And society needs to buck up and just deal with things without drugs. So, okay, just like we're going to lock up people for using cannabis for medical reasons, we're going to lock up people for sorry. Oh, you needed morphine because your fucking spleen was bleeding out? Sorry. It can't. Nope. That's not okay. You're degrading the morals of our society. What a joke! What a joke! How about you leave the medical science to the medical experts? Leave the science to the scientists. Let the doctors do their thing. Who the fuck are law enforcement to come in and say, I personally disagree with what you're doing from a moral perspective, so no. But no. I mean, you idiots, every single drug that works has a chemical reaction in the body. What do you think SSRIs, antidepressants do? They fuck with your serotonin levels to make you happier. That's a drug! What do you think caffeine does? Caffeine is an upper, it's a drug. What do you think Red Bull, Monster Energy, all these things are? What do you think nicotine is in cigarettes? That's legal. What do you think alcohol is? I mean, there's no consistency, there's no intelligence. It's just, we are operating off of momentum. The previous generation were fucking savage lunatics who didn't realize that there's some medicinal properties to something like marijuana. So we're going to just adopt the same belief and mentality as them, even though every study that comes out on marijuana says it helps 1,000 ailments. We're talking about a child that won't stop seizing and wants to kill himself, and marijuana is the cure. And what's your reaction? No. Why? Something. I don't know. Blah. We don't like weed. Blah. Scare tactics. Reefer madness. Be afraid. No, what I'm afraid of is you. You're the problem. You're the problem. You're dooming a poor kid to live in misery because you can't get over the fact that some fucking drugs that you don't like may work. How sad are you? How sad are you?